The diner was unusually quiet that evening, only the soft clinking of silverware and the low hum of conversation filled the air. At a corner booth sat a man in a worn leather jacket, his hair peppered with gray, his eyes steady and calm. His name was Jack Turner, a single dad and a man most wouldn't notice at first glance. He looked like just another tired father grabbing dinner after a long day at work. But the faint tattoo on his forearm, barely visible under his sleeve, told a story most couldn't even imagine. Sitting across from him was his teenage daughter, Lily, laughing softly as she told him about her day at school. Jack smiled, a small, peaceful smile. After years of deployments, loss, and pain, this was the life he had fought for. Quiet dinners, laughter, home. He didn't need much else. But peace has a way of being tested. As they ate, the diner door swung open with a bang. In walked three men, loud and careless, the type who believed the world owed them attention. The leader, a bulky guy in his 30s with a loud voice and mean smirk, spotted Jack and Lily almost instantly. "Hey, look at that," he snickered to his friends. "Daddy's night out with the princess." Lily's laughter stopped. Jack glanced up but didn't react. He'd seen worse men, darker places. He knew what silence could do, it could diffuse more than words ever could. But the bully, fueled by insecurity and ego, mistook that calm for weakness. As he passed by their table, he, accidentally, bumped Jack's shoulder, spilling coffee across the table. Lily gasped as the hot liquid splashed onto her sleeve. Jack reached for napkins, his tone still even. "It's all right, sweetheart. Accidents happen." The bully chuckled. "Accident? Sure, old man. Maybe next time keep your mouth shut and eyes down, yeah." His friends laughed behind him. The whole diner had gone quiet now, all eyes flickering between Jack and the bully. Jack simply nodded and wiped the table. "Come on, Lily. Let's finish up." But bullies feed on reaction. When they don't get one, they push harder. "Oh, come on, hero," the man sneered. "What's that little tattoo mean, huh?" He grabbed Jack's sleeve and yanked it up, revealing the black ink, an insignia of a dagger through lightning bolts. For a moment, the diner seemed to freeze. The man blinked, not understanding what he was looking at. But one older patron in the back, the kind of man who'd seen things too, set his fork down slowly, eyes widening. He recognized it, the Delta Force emblem. Jack sighed softly. He didn't want this. "Let it go," he said, voice calm but low, like thunder still hiding behind clouds. The bully didn't listen. He reached out, shoved Jack again, and this time, slapped him across the face. Lily gasped, eyes wide, trembling. The sound echoed through the diner like a gunshot. For a second, nothing happened. Jack just closed his eyes, the way soldiers do before the storm hits. Then he stood up slowly, towering slightly over the man, but his expression remained eerily calm. "Son," he said quietly, "you have no idea what you just did." The man laughed nervously, trying to hide the flicker of uncertainty rising in him. "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do, Grandpa?" Jack didn't move fast, he didn't need to. Years of training took over. In less than 2 seconds, he stepped aside, hooked the man's wrist, and with a controlled motion, had him on the ground, arm locked in a way that made him grunt in pain. Jack didn't even raise his voice. "You can choose to walk out of here, or crawl out. Decide." The man's friends froze. The entire diner stared, silent, as the man whimpered out an apology. Jack released him, stood straight, and walked back to his daughter. "Let's go, Lily." As they turned to leave, the older patron stood, his voice trembling with respect. "Sir, Delta." Jack paused, nodded once, and left without another word. The door closed behind them, leaving a silence that hung heavy with awe. Outside, Lily looked up at her father, still shaken. "Dad, what was that? Why didn't you just tell him who you were?" Jack smiled faintly, starting the car. "Because, sweetheart, real strength isn't about showing what you can do. It's about knowing when you don't have to." That night, as they drove home, the stars stretched across the sky like the endless desert nights Jack once knew. He'd lost brothers there. He'd lost time, sleep, and parts of himself. But what he'd gained, the quiet dignity, the patience, the love for his daughter, was worth more than any battle he'd ever fought. Meanwhile, back at the diner, the man Jack had taken down sat shaking, rubbing his sore wrist. His friend whispered, "Man, do you know who that was?" He looked blankly back. That was Jack Turner. He's a Delta Force legend. The guy who saved the entire unit in Kandahar. The bully's face drained of color. For the first time in years, he felt something new, shame. The story spread through town like wildfire. Some called him a hero, some called him mysterious. But to Jack, none of that mattered. He was just a dad doing his best to raise his daughter right, to show her that courage wasn't loud, and respect wasn't optional. Weeks later, the same man who'd started the trouble walked into the diner again, but this time, he wasn't loud. He quietly paid for another family's meal and left without a word. Maybe, in some way, that night changed him too. Because sometimes, it doesn't take a fight to make someone see the truth. Sometimes, it takes one quiet man with a past heavy enough to command respect, without ever asking for it. And that's what true strength looks like.